أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم هم ينفقون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
The Quran says that the Quran itself, the Kitab, is to guide the muttaqeen, those who are pious. And the muttaqeen have several qualities and criteria, which one of them is الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ, those who have faith and believe in ghaib. If you want to be muttaqi, pious, according to the Quran, you have to believe in ghaib. What is ghaib? Ghaib is the unseen, things that we cannot see. When you believe in God, you have iman bil ghaib. You have faith in a power that cannot be seen. When you believe in the angels, you have iman bil ghaib, because the angels cannot be seen. Therefore, believing in prophethood is also iman bil ghaib, because you believe that this person, human being, is in touch with angels. They are revealing upon him. The wahi is being sent to him. Yuha ilayh. When you believe in wahi, that means you have iman bil ghaib. And also believing in ilmul ghaib, that this prophet has ilmul ghaib, the knowledge of the unseen, the knowledge of the future. He knows what's behind the curtains. He knows what's happening at your home. This is ilmul ghaib. When you believe that the Prophet and the A'imma and Ahlul Bayt, they are, well, we can't say all-knowing. Allah is all-knowing, but they have ilmul ghaib, ilmul ladunni, a knowledge that is not apparent. Where is the source? How does he know this? The source, the means of knowing is not like the means we know. His source is unseen. He is being revealed upon things that normally we won't find out by natural means. So we believe, followers of Ahlul Bayt, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and his household, the A'imma, they all had ilmul ghaib. But the problem with this claim is that we have riwayat that say otherwise or appear to say otherwise. In fact, we have verses in the Quran that appear to say otherwise and claim that no one but God and Allah has ilmul ghaib. Like, for instance, you have verses that say, وَعِنْدَهُ مَفَاتِحُ الْغَيْبِ لَا يَعْلَمُهَا إِلَّا هُ. The keys of ghaib and the unseen, they are with God. Nobody knows them except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody knows and has those keys of ghaib except Allah. Or on another verse it says, قُلْ لَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ الْغَيْبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. O Prophet, tell the people that no one in the skies and on the earths knows ghaib except Allah. It's very apparent and clear. Only Allah knows ilm al-ghaib. In a third verse, لو كنت أعلم الغيب لاستكثرت من الخير وما مسني السوء. The Prophet himself says, if I knew ilm al-ghaib, if I had the knowledge of the unseen, I would have done many good things. If I knew, I had the ilm al-ghaib, I would win the lottery, right? I would give charity, I would do many good things. For instance, today, لَاسْتَكْثَرْتُ مِنَ الْخَيْرِ وَمَا مَسَّنِي السُّوءُ, and nothing bad would come towards me if I knew from which direction harm would come towards me. So, is the Prophet denying? We have other verses that are more appealing about this issue. The verse says that لَا أَعْلَمُ الْغَيْبِ. He's strictly saying that I don't have ilm al-ghaib. Or he says, مَا أَدْرِي مَا يُفْعَلُ بِي وَلَا بِكُمْ. I don't know what will happen to me or you to you. These verses, they indicate that the Prophet does not have ilm al-ghaib and only Allah has ilm al-ghaib. So what is the solution? How can we answer? We are claiming that Ahlul Bayt have ilm al-ghaib, and now the Prophet, the Quran says, he himself says that I do not know ghaib. Well, you can't only consider these verses, you have to consider all the verses in the Quran in general, because we do have verses that claim otherwise, that say God, yes, it is true, ilm al-ghaib belongs to God, only Him, but He will give it to whoever He wishes. So there's no contradiction between them. Ilm al-ghaib belongs to God, and He will give it to His messengers. Like the verse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, عالم الغيب لا يظهر على غيبه أحدا. Allah is the one who knows the unseen, and He will not reveal it to anyone إلا من ارتضى من رسول, only to those messengers that He is pleased with. Only to those who He wishes to reveal, He will reveal the ghaib. Or another verse He says, مَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُطْلِعَكُمْ عَلَى الْغَيْبِ. Allah will not reveal ghaib to you. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهِ يَجْتَبِي مِنْ رُسُلِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah will choose from His prophets and messengers whoever He pleases to reveal ilm al-ghaib and the knowledge of the unseen. So how do we, is there how do we follow these two series of verses? Well, as we said, when the Prophet says, لا أعلم الغيب, what does it mean? He's saying, I don't have ghaib. He says, I don't have ilm al-ghaib independently. It's not independent. The ilm I have, I don't have ilm al-ghaib independently. It's not from myself. It's not from me. My source is God. When he is denying that he has ilm al-ghaib, he is in touch with that, he's denying that he's an independent source. He says, no, whatever I know is not from me. مَا أَدْرِ مَا يُفْعَلُ بِي وَلَا بِكُمْ. I don't know anything but except what Allah tells me. Like in this verse, the Prophet says, لا أعلم الغيب إن أتبع إلا ما يوحى إلي. I don't know ghaib, but then he says, I only follow what is revealed upon me. So he's denying that he is not an independent source of knowledge. He is receiving everything from Allah. So there's no contradiction between these verses of the Quran. We could claim that the Prophet has ilm al-ghaib. But this is an issue that people and mu'mineen, they have to be put to the test. Whoever wants to be pious, muttaqi, الذين يؤمنون بالغيب, the faith in ghaib, al-iman bil-ghaib, has to be put to the test. Do you really believe that the Prophet has ilm al-ghaib? That yuha ilayh, the wahi is sent upon him, it is revealed to him? Many in the past and today are being tested in this aspect, to test their iman, if they're muttaqi, if they're pious or not, including the family of the Prophet, his wives. They were tested many times. When the Prophet will tell them, why did you do this? And he knew something that nobody knew except them and Allah, he would reveal to them, you said this, you did this. And they were shocked, and they would say to the Prophet, who told you this? How do you know? How did you find out? This is a test. It shows that they don't have that level of iman bil ghaib. Because they questioned the Prophet, who told you? No one knew about it. How did you find out? Were you sneaking on me? Were you overhearing my conversation? Were you behind? This is obviously a lack of faith in the Prophet and ghaib, iman bil ghaib. So many have been tested about this issue, including one particular issue that is mentioned in the Quran, which is about two of the wives of the Prophet, in that a whole surah was revealed for that incident. And since the matter is a bit sensitive, we will read this issue from the books of our brothers Ahlul Sunnah and see what they say about it. In Sahih al-Bukhari, in the 8th chapter, about the surah of Tahrim, in hadith 5269. Yes. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
There's a hadith by Aisha where she says, إن النبي كان يمكث عند زينب ابنة جحش. Well, the Prophet had many wives, and he would go to all of them in one day, and he will check on them, and he would stay at Zainab a little bit longer. And Aisha found out what he was doing there. She says that كان يمكث عند زينب بنت جحش, one of the Prophet's wives, ويشرب عندها عسلا, and he would drink some honey, eat some honey, because Zainab, she had some honey, and honey was rare, couldn't be found in the Arabian Peninsula a lot. It was maybe expensive, and she had honey she had hidden for herself and the Prophet. So whenever the Prophet would come, she would treat him with some honey. She knew the Prophet loved honey, and the Prophet would go sit there, and she would give him that honey and sweet. And so women, they have this jealousy problem, and ghira and hasada. And subhanallah, Amir al-Mu'mineen says in Nahj al-Balagha, he says that غيرة المرأة كفر وغيرة الرجل إيمان. Ghira, we translate it in jealousy, but it's not a correct translation, because jealousy is a negative, feeling. But ghira for men is positive, according to Islamic traditions and ideology. Amir al-Mu'mineen says that if a man has ghira, meaning he's overprotective towards his wife, and he has pride towards her, that's not jealousy in our thought. It's iman. Amir al-Mu'minin says, ghiratul rajuli iman, means he's great in faith, he's strong in faith, because he has ghira. And if a man doesn't have ghira, and he's not protective over his wife, then he's lacking some iman. But ghira for a woman is jealousy. Ghiratul mar'ati kufrun. It's kufr and disbelief. It leads to kufr sometimes. But hayadu billah. One scholar in Iran used to say that I've heard this hadith many years ago, and sometimes I think and ponder, what does it mean that ghiratul mar'ati kufrun? A woman's jealousy leads to kufr. She shouldn't have ghira. I mean, it's one of the things that we can't very much explain, especially in the West. Why shouldn't women be jealous? So he was thinking, and what does this mean? Then he said, one day I heard from one of the speakers, the scholars, who was speaking in a mosque, and half of the mosque were women and half were men, and he said, I was in the middle. On one side were women, on the other were men, with a curtain in the middle, and I was talking about Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and was telling his biography and how he lived, and he had 3 or 4 wives. And when I came up to this, a woman was sitting on that side close to me, and she said, so this Imam Hussein had 4 wives, and he was the good one, the madloom. This madloom, this oppressed, had 4 wives. It was good thing they killed him. Alhamdulillah, they killed him. How is he madloom? So I sensed that she has a problem maybe in her life. Anyways, when I heard this from him, then suddenly I found out what it means. That ghiratul mar'ati kufrun, the ghira for a woman leads to kufr sometimes. And it's not something that it's not recommended for a woman to have ghira towards her husband, and jealousy. But that's something we talked about, or we indicated a few nights ago, when we said we submit to Allah's rule even if we can't understand the wisdom behind that. So we can't explain it to everyone, but since we know the source is authentic, then we accept it as it is. So we're talking about ghira and jealousy. Aisha says in Sahih al-Bukhari that the Prophet was drinking and eating honey when he went to Zaynab bint Jahsh, and we found out, and we were upset about it. فَتَوَاصَيْتُ أَنَا وَحَفْصَةً. Me and Hafsa, we made a collusion, a scheme to do something about this. What should we do to prevent the Prophet from going on and continuing and doing this every day? So she said to Hafsa, in أن أيتنا دخل عليها النبي فلتقل. When the Prophet comes to any one of us, we will tell him that إني أجد منك ريح مغافير. I smell a very bad smell from you. Your mouth has a very bad smell. أكلت مغافير. Have you eaten مغافير? Maghafir was this gum and syrup from a tree that had a very, very bad smell. It looked like honey. It had a very bad smell. Well, since they knew he was eating honey, so this looked like very much like honey. And they were hinting that what you're eating and you're given is not honey, and you are tricked. It's actually maghafir. So they said, if he comes to me, I'll say this. If he comes to you, we say this. make him believe that Zainab bint Jahsh is giving him not honey but maghafir, a syrup and gum that has a very, very bad smell but looks like honey. So she said that, and they knew that the Prophet, this was something he was very sensitive about. Smell, his cleanliness, how he smelled. The Prophet was very sensitive about it. He wouldn't eat onion or garlic, although it was very healthy and good for their everything for the body. But the Prophet would never eat them because he was always in contact with people, and he was afraid the smell would bother them. He never would eat garlic or onion. And he would spend 2/3 of his income on odor and perfume. And he would say that your money hasn't gone to waste. It's not israf. To spend that much money on perfume, he said, however much you spend on perfume and odor, it's not israf. Because smelling good is something that Allah likes. And subhanAllah, by miracle, even the sweat of the Prophet had a good smell to it. It never smelled bad. When he would sweat, it smelled like perfume and misk and ambar. And it was one of the miracles of the Prophet's body. He was so sensitive about it. He would tell the Muslims that you have to wash yourself at least once a week on the day of Jum'ah. And if I had water and accessibility to water easily, I would wash myself every day. So he encouraged them. He was so sensitive about smell. So they knew this was something he won't tolerate. So they started this conspiracy, and it worked. It worked. It says that the Prophet, when they أكلت مغافير فدخل على إحداهما, he entered on one of them. فقالت له ذلك, she said to him, did you eat maghafir? You have a very bad smell. And they would go far away. They wouldn't come close to the Prophet. They would keep away from him. The Prophet said, قال لا بل شربت عسلا عند زينب ابنة جحش. So after this continued, the Prophet said, okay, I know what you want. لن أعود له. He swore that he will never drink honey anymore. So he made honey forbidden upon himself. He swore he won't do it again. فنزلت, Sahih al-Bukhari says, فنزلت يا أيها النبي لم تحرم ما أحل الله لك. O Prophet, why do you make whatever is halal for you haram? Why do you make it forbidden? Why? Because he wanted this to finish, this conspiracy, to get over with it. So he said, I will never drink honey again. Ila an tatuba. Then the Sahih Bukhari says that the ayah goes on, it says an tatuba ila Allah. It says li'aisha wa Hafsa. It means this ayah, this verse is about Aisha and Hafsa, and this is mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari. So Surah al-Tahrim means the forbidding. It was revealed for this incident because the Prophet, he forbidden honey upon himself, said, I will never eat honey again. Allah says, O Prophet, لِمَا تُحَرِّمُ مَا أَحَلَّ اللَّهُ لَكَ تَبْتَغِي مَرَضَاتَ أَزْوَاجِكَ. You want to please and satisfy your wives with forbidding honey? Then it goes on, it says, وَإِذْ أَسَرَّ. The Quran starts talking about this incident and what happened. إِذْ أَسَرَّ النَّبِيُّ إِلَى بَعْضِ أَزْوَاجِهِ. The Prophet, he told Hafsa that I swear that I will never eat and drink honey ever again. But this is a secret between me and you. You have to keep this secret. That I swore and I'm not eating honey anymore. You have to keep it a secret. She says, okay. إِذْ أَسَرَّ النَّبِيُّ إِلَى بَعْضِ أَزْوَاجِهِ. He told her a secret, and he'd asked her to keep it. حديثا أسر حديثا فلما نبأت به. But she revealed the secret to Aisha. She told her that the Prophet swore he won't eat honey again. فلما نبأت به. She told about the secret. وأظهره الله عليه. But God revealed it to the Prophet that she didn't keep your secret. عرف بعضه وأعرض عن بعض. So the Prophet told Hafsa that you didn't keep my secret. He told some of what was revealed upon him. عرف بعضه. Some of that revelation he told her that you didn't keep the secret, and some of the revelation he didn't. He kept to himself. فلما نبأها به. When he told her that you didn't keep my secret, قالت من أنبأك هذا. Who told you about this? How did you know? قال نبأني العليم الخبير. Allah, the all-knowing, has told me about this. Then Allah starts addressing those two women, those two wives of the Prophet. إن تتوبا إلى الله. ضمير alif in Arabic is for two. You two women, if you repent to Allah, that is best for you. فَقَدْ صَغَتْ قُلُوبُكُمَا. Because your hearts have been deviated, have been gone out of the right path. Your صَغَتْ قُلُوبُكُمَا وَإِن تَظَاهَرَا عَلَيْهِ. If you don't repent, if you go against him back to back, تَظَاهَرَا عَلَيْهِ. If you're going to go against the Prophet, you know who's on his side? فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ مَوْلَاهُ. Allah is his master and his protector. وَجِبْرِيلُ وَصَالِحُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And Jibreel is on his side, and Salih al-Mu'mineen is on his side. So are you going to again go against the Prophet together or not? Or will you repent? You know who Salih al-Mu'mineen is? The hadith says Amir al-Mu'mineen is the righteous of the believers. He is Salih al-Mu'mineen. So if you're going against the Prophet together and doing a conspiracy again, you will be confronted by Allah and Jibreel and Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ ظَهِيرًا. And we have forces of angels behind the Prophet. So watch out who you're going to confront. عَسَى رَبُّهُ. Allah is still going on this and you won't leave it be. عَسَى رَبُّهُ إِن طَلَّقَكُنَّ أن يبدله أزواجا خيرا منكم. Maybe Allah, if He divorces you, Allah will give him better wives than you. How are they better? عسى ربه إن طلقكن أن يبدله أزواجا خيرا منكم. He will give him better wives. How are they better? He says they will have these qualities, the better wives. Muslimatin, they will be Muslims. Mu'minatin, they will be believers. Qanitatin, they will obey him. Ta'ibatin, they will do tawbah. Abidatin, and worshippers. Sa'ihatin, they will fast. Thayyibatin wa abkar. Leave that translation. So the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is threatening those who are trying to do conspiracy behind the Prophet. Then and he continues, and four verses later, Allah is still, continuing. He still goes back to the same. Well, it seems that way. He says that, you know what? He finishes the surah like this. The surah is short. He starts with that and he finishes with this. He says, you know what? I want to give you 2 examples of 2 women that were pagans and kafir. I want to give you 2 examples of 2 women that were mu'minat. ضرب الله مثلا للذين كفروا امرأة نوح وامرأة لوط. I'll give you 2 examples of 2 women, wives of prophets, the wife of Nuh and the wife of Lut. كانتا تحت عبدين من عبادنا صالحين فخانتاهما. They were the wives of 2 of our servants, but they betrayed them in religion and faith. خانتاهما means they betrayed them in faith. فلم يغنيا عنهما من الله شيئا. Says, you know, they being the wives of those prophets, these 2 women, it didn't save them. لم يغنيا عنهما شيئا. It didn't save them just to be the wife of a prophet. وقيل ادخلا النار مع الداخلين. And Allah says to those 2 wives, enter the hell. Then He gives 2 examples of 2 women that were righteous. He says, وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. I'll give you an example of 2 good women. امرأة فرعون, Asya, the wife of Fir'aun. إذ قالت رب ابن لي عندك بيتا في الجنة ونجني من فرعون وعمله ونجني من القوم الظالمين. Oh Allah, build me a house in paradise and save me from Fir'aun and his deeds, and save me from the oppressing people. صلوا على محمد وعلى And then the other example is وَمَرْيَمْ ابْنَةَ عِمْرَانَ الَّتِي أَحْصَنَتْ فَرْجَهَا. And the other example is Maryam, Mary. فَنَفَخْنَا فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِنَا وَصَدَّقَتْ بِكَلِمَاتِ رَبِّهَا وَكُتُبِهِ وَكَانَتْ مِنَ الْقَانِتِينَ. And she was amongst the qaniteen. Subhanallah, you know these 2 women, Asya and Maryam, the hadith says that they will choose husbands in paradise and heaven, and they will choose the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he says, I'll give you 2 examples of wives of prophets that were kafir and they went to hell. I give you 2 examples of women that were righteous, and according to the hadith, or will be the wives of the Prophet in the heaven. So they were tested about ilmul ghaib, and the Prophet, as we said, as we claim, has ilmul ghaib. And then what the ilmul ghaib that he has, the knowledge of the unseen, he gave to his successor Amir al-Mu'mineen. Didn't he say, أَنَا مَدِينَةُ الْعِلْمُ وَعَلِيٌّ بَابُهَا? I am the city of knowledge and Ali is the door. Whoever wants to enter the city and benefit from my knowledge, he has to go through Ali ibn Abi Talib. Then he said, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he himself said, علمني رسول الله ألف بابا من العلم يفتح من كل باب ألف باب. Rasulullah taught me 1,000. He opened 1,000 doors of knowledge for me. And from behind every door are 1,000 doors of knowledge. Amir al-Mu'mineen would stand and sit on the pulpit in this masjid of Kufa, and he would tell people, he would call out, Saluni qabla an tafkaduni. Ask me before you lose me. I have the knowledge of the Prophet. إني أعلم بطرق السماء من طرق الأرض. My knowledge of the skies and heavens are more than my knowledge of the earths. Of what you cannot see, my knowledge is much more than what you could see. And you have ignorant people that ask him, like Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas says, Ya Ali, how many hairs do I have in my face? If you claim you know that much, everything, that's what's he claiming. Saluni qabla an tafqaduni. When he says that, it means I will have an answer for any question. What does that mean? He's claiming he knows everything. Sa'd says, you really know everything? How many hairs do I have in my face and on my head? This is what they'll ask Amir al-Mu'mineen. And the Imam would reply, I know the answer to that question, but how can I prove it to you? But I'll tell you something, that you have a son, Umar ibn Sa'd, that he will kill my son in Karbala. Your son will kill my son. That I could tell you for sure. The science and knowledge of the future. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
The Imam, unfortunately, they wouldn't ask him the good questions, and no one would know his knowledge for sure and who he was. So you see that Allah will send signs for people to know. He would send a snake. In Kufa, there is a door, Bab al-Thu'ban. Thu'ban means a big snake, a python, or an anaconda, a very, very big snake, a huge one. Why is it called Bab al-Thu'ban? Because Amir al-Mu'mineen was sitting on the pulpit, and suddenly from this door a huge python came inside the masjid, and everyone ran away, was afraid. The Imam said, be calm, keep calm, it's okay. He has nothing to do with you. So the snake, the python, came to the Imam, and it started speaking with the Imam in a language he couldn't understand, and the Imam replied to it, and the people were surprised. The snake left. The people were surprised. What was he saying? Was he speaking to you? Were you answering him? He said, yes, this is one of the jinn that has come in the shape of a snake, and he had some questions to ask. He was one of the judges amongst them, and I had to answer him. And that door was named after that incident, Bab al-Thu'ban. But, you know, they tried to hide the merits of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and conceal them so much that Muawiyah, when he heard about this door, he said, I'm going to change the name of this door. They said, how? He said, bring me an elephant. Many people haven't seen an elephant. So they brought an elephant, and they tied it up in front of that door for many days until the door was changed officially to Bab al-Fil. And that name stayed until a few years ago. And after the Ba'athi regime was removed, it still had that name, Bab al-Fil. Until a few years later, the scholars and ulama, they requested that the name be returned to the official name, Bab al-Thu'ban, which is a miracle for Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. And another miracle you see in Masjid al-Kufa. When you go to Masjid al-Kufa, have you seen Bayt al-Tasht and Maqam Jibra'il, where they say this is where Jibra'il came and asked Amir al-Mu'mineen. He came in the shape of a human being. He asked Amir al-Mu'mineen on the pulpit, because Imam would say, Saluni qabla an tafqaduni, and they wouldn't have any good questions for the Imam. So Jibra'il has to come. He says, Ya Ali, where is Gabriel and Jibra'il? Where is he right now? The Imam turns his head and looks up and down, and he says to him, you know, I looked in the 7 skies and the 7 earths, and the east and the west and the north and south, but I couldn't find him. So you're Jibra'il himself asking me this question. And suddenly he disappeared in front of everyone. And that is a place they call now Maqam Jibra'il. Or Bayt al-Quraysh is still in Masjid al-Kufa. It's the house or the place of the tub where they brought a girl, a tribe, an Arab tribe brought their sister who was pregnant, appeared to be pregnant. And they said that, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, our sister has dishonored us. And we wanted to kill him. But some of the elders in the tribe said, no, take him to you and let you judge. She has dishonored us. She's a virgin and she's pregnant. So Amir al-Mu'mineen, he said, bring me a tub with mud in it and ask her to sit in that tub for a few hours. So she sat in that tub with mud. Then suddenly a leech came out of her womb that had grown and had been there for many months and had sucked blood and it was growing. A leech came out of her. And it was revealed that this girl didn't committed any sin or adultery. And she, Amir al-Mu'mineen, with his wisdom and knowledge, he saved that girl by being killed by her brothers and her family, and by thinking that they dishonored him. And these are just the tip of the iceberg of what knowledge Amir al-Mu'mineen had, alayhi salam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala. But he did have some good companions that actually really knew who Ali ibn Abi Talib was, like Ammar ibn Yasir. And Ammar was a good companion, a faithful one, who was martyred and killed in the Battle of Siffin. And after he was killed, the Imam came to Ammar and he would cry for Ammar. He held Ammar and was crying, and he said, this was the last of my true and close companions from the time of Rasulullah. He was the last one. Because Salman and Abu Dhar, they all passed away before Ammar. And Baghdad. Then Habib ibn Mudahar was present in the Battle of Siffin. He saw that what an honor for Ammar. He's killed in front of Amir al-Mu'mineen, istushhida bayna yaday, and the Imam is crying for him. So Habib said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, pray that I will be martyred in this war before you. I want to be martyred in your army, for you, for your sake. Ask Allah to grant me this wish. So Amir al-Mu'mineen, he said to him that, Ya Habib, you have another day that will come for you. He said that your day will come and ادخرك الله ليوم أعظم من هذا. God is keeping you for a day that is much greater than this day. He said, what day is that? He said, the day of Ashura, when you will join my son Imam Hussein and you will be killed in the land of Karbala. So he grabbed a handful of dirt and he told Habib to smell this dirt. If you smell this dirt again, if you find a dirt, a earth, a soil that has the same smell of this, that would be where you will be killed. This has the smell of that place where you and my son will be killed. So Habib was foretold by Amir al-Mu'mineen that he will be martyred in Karbala. And some of his close companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen were also told, he gave them the knowledge, ilm al-manaya wal-balaya, the knowledge of deaths and calamities. It's one of those knowledges of ilm al-ghayb he gave to his special companions like Maytham al-Tammar, Habib ibn Mudahar, Rushayd al-Hajari. So one day in the city of Kufa, they say, narrators mention that Habib was on his horse and he met Maytham al-Tammar on his horse. So They came close and they started a conversation that was heard by people nearby. So Habib says to Maytham, you know, I am seeing an old man. He's describing Maytham. I'm seeing an old man who sells dates. He was Tammar. And he will be crucified because of the love of the Prophet's progeny and family. Then Maytham said to Habib, you know, I see an old man with red hair. He will be killed for the sake of the Prophet's grandson. And his head will be brought in this city, the city of Kufa. And some people are listening and saying, who are these liars? Look at them, they're bluffing. What are they saying? They're crazy old men. Then Rushayd al-Hajari comes. He says, what were they saying? They said, they were saying this and that, and you will be killed like this, and you will be killed like that, and that stuff. Rushayd came, he said to them, you know, Maytham forgot to tell Habib something. That the person that brings the head of Habib in the city of Kufa, he will be rewarded 100 golden coins. Did he tell you that? Did he say that to Habib? They said no. And he went off and they said, this guy is a bigger liar than those two. So the narrator says, it didn't take too long until we saw Maytham at Tammar crucified. And we saw the head of Habib coming in the city of Kufa. And we heard that the one who brought the head was rewarded 100 golden coins. And all they told was true. And this was given to them by Amir al-Mu'mineen. So Habib is one of those special companions that Imam Hussein asked him to come to Karbala. He wrote him a letter. He was sitting with his wife, they were eating. And suddenly Habib started to choke on his food. His wife, she said that, you know, this is a sign that there's going to be good news. So it didn't take long that they knocked the door. Habib went to the door, it was a letter. And he read the letter. She said, who's the letter from? He said, from Al-Hussein ibn Ali. She said, what is he saying? He said that, well, it says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, min al-Hussein ibn Ali, ila al-Rajul al-Faqih, to the scholar, to the Faqih, the jurisprudent, Habib ibn Madahir, amma ba'd ya Habib, anta ta'lam qarabatuna min Rasulillah. You know my place from the Prophet of God, from Rasulullah, how close I am to the Prophet. In aradta nusratana fa ana qareeb fi Karbala. If you want to come and help me, O Habib, I am close by and I am settled in Karbala. So Habib reads the letter and he puts it aside and he continues to eat his dinner. And his wife says to him, Habib, what are you doing? He says, I'm eating. He says, what are you doing? Go and join Abi Abdullah and Hussein. Why are you staying here? Leave the food and go. He said, if I go and I'll be killed, you'll be a widow and our children will become orphans. And you won't have any food to eat. Who will bring food on the table if I go? She said, Ya Habib, you're worried about what I'm going to eat? Da'ni akul turab. Let me eat some dirt. Why are you sitting here? Just leave and go. Habib said, why can I? No, I'll just finish my food. And so he continued eating his food. Then his wife, he said to him, Ya Habib, you know what? Wear this abaya of mine and sit here. You're not worthy of going to Imam Hussein. You have to dress up like a woman and sit in the house. And she started to cry. She said, Ya Aba Abdullah, I wish I was a man and I could come and help you. So Habib, when he heard this, he said to her, I will go, don't worry. Okay, I will go and help Imam Hussein. He wanted to test his wife and see her faith. He said, I'm going. But she said, oh, take me with you, Habib. I want to come with you to Karbala. Habib said, no, what will you do in Karbala? It's a war, what could you do? She said, I have heard from my mistress Zainab that they will be kept captives and they will be brought to Kufa and Sham. So let me come, maybe I could protect them, maybe I could shield them. But Habib said, you're not mentioned in the letter of Imam Hussein. He hasn't mentioned you, you're not invited to come. So she said, if Habib, you're not taking me, at least send my salam to Hussein and tell him that I wanted to come, but you didn't let me. He said, I will do that for you. So he brought his servant and his slave. He told him, take this sword with my horse underneath the saddle, put my sword, hide it. I can't come out with this. I have to come secretly because the city of Kufa is under martial law and we can't be seen. So you go with my horse and my sword outside the city walls, and I will meet you outside the city walls, and we will meet there. So the servant and slave goes, and at night Habib secretly exits the city of Kufa and he meets him. Before he reaches the slave and sees him, he's going quietly and looking, and he's seeing the slave, the boy. He's talking to the horse. He says to the horse, oh horse, our master, he's late. What should we do? Wallah, if he doesn't come, then I will ride you myself and I will go to Karbala and defend Abi Abdullah and Hussein. So Habib sees this servant talking to the horse, and he comes forth and he tells him, you know what? Anta hurrun, you are free for the sake of Allah. You will go wherever you want. But the servant says, Tafaddal alayya bil Jannah. Please take me to paradise. Please let me come with you. Don't leave me here. So he takes him on his horse. They ride to Karbala together. And before they reach Karbala, the camp of Imam Hussein, Habib comes down from the horse. He takes a handful of the dirt and smells it. He tells him, this is the smell that Amir al-Mu'mineen, he told me that the dirt, the land I will be killed in, smells like this. He showed me that dirt. So he walks towards the camp of Abi Abdullah. Then he has a cane. He has a stick with him. He's an old man. He's 80, 90 years old. So he throws that cane and stick. His servant tells him, why have you thrown your cane? You might need it. He says, look at the enemy. Day by day, thousands are joining them. They are proud because of their numbers. And you want me to march to the camp of Abi Abdullah, an old man with a cane and stick. You want them to see me with a cane, one person coming and joining their camp. How would this boost their morals? How would this help? I don't want them to feel more sad than this. We're only 2 people joining them. So I don't want to walk in that camp with a stick. So he goes towards the camp of Abi Abdullah. And on the other side, Imam Hussein was waiting for Habib ibn Malahir. He was waiting, and he saw from far away Habib coming. The tradition says that Abi Abdullah, he didn't walk towards Habib, he ran towards Habib. He ran until Habib, he fell on the feet of Abi Abdullah and started kissing his feet. But Imam Hussein, he took him in his arms and they hugged each other until they cried and cried. And Imam Hussein and everyone was happy that Habib has come. Then on the night of Ashura, it was time to test his companions. So Imam Sayyida Zainab says to Abi Abdullah, have you tested your companions? Are they faithful? He said, yes, I have tested them. I told them to leave. The enemy doesn't want any one of you. They only want me. It's me they want, so go away. But these companions, they didn't go. They stayed here. They want to be killed before me. So that is when he said that لا أعلم أصحابا أوفى وخيرا من أصحابي. I don't know any companions more faithful and better than my ashab. So what he did after he tested them, Abi Abdullah al-Hussein, he said to them, you have been tested, and now it is time for me to show you your places in paradise. So the Imam, he pointed to the skies, and suddenly the skies opened and they saw the heavens and paradise with their eyes. And he told them, this is your place in paradise. You have passed your test and you shall see where you're going. So after seeing that scene, on the day of Ashura, they were racing towards Shahada. They couldn't wait a minute longer in this life. They wanted to go where they had seen, to that destination. They were eager to be killed. They say that يَتَهَادَوْنَ لِلْقَتْلِ كَانُوا يَتَسَابَقُونَ. They would race, they were in a hurry, going towards death, and they were killed one by one, until no one was left amongst the companions of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. Then the traditions say, وَجَعَلَ يَنْظُرُ يَمِينًا وَشِمَالًا فلم ير أحدا من أنصاره إلا من صافح التراب جبينه ثم أخذ يصيح بصوت حزين. He called out his companions after they were killed. He said, يا حبيب ابن مظاهر ويا زهير ابن القين ويا مسلم ابن عوسجة. He keeps calling them one by one. He said, يا أبطال الصفا ويا فرسان الهيجة ما لي أناديكم فلا تجيبون وأدعوكم فلا تسمعون. O knights of chivalry, why is it I call you when you're not answering to me? أنتم نيام أرجوكم تنتبهون. If you are asleep, please wake up and answer my call. Why should they rise, Ya Aba Abdullah? What do you want them to answer? He says, هذه نساء الرسول لفقدكم قد علاهن النحول. These are the daughters of the Prophet. Stand up and protect them with me. فقوموا عن نومتكم أيها الكرام وادفعوا عن حرم الرسول الطغاة اللام. Please defend my family and the family of the Prophet. لما رأى السبط أصحاب الوفا قتلوا نادى أبا الفضل أين الفارس البطل وأين من دوني الأرواح قد بذلوا بالأمس كانوا معي واليوم قد رحلوا وخلفوا في سويد القلب نيرانا. Yes, they were hurrying, they were in a hurry to be killed and go to that promised place in paradise. يتهادون إلى القتل. They couldn't wait a minute longer. لكن al-Hussein, he was in no hurry. Aba Abdullah was taking his time. Why was he taking his time? Imam Sahib al-Asr wal Zaman tells us why. in Ziyarat al-Nahiya. He says the Imam wasn't in a hurry to be killed. Why? Because تَذُبُّ عَنْ نِسْوَتِكَ وَأَوْلَادِكَ. Ya Aba Abdullah, oh grandfather, you were trying to defend your women and your children. He was fighting to defend them all alone. Then the Imam describes, he says, he was fighting until what? حَتَّى نَكَسُوكَ عَنْ جَوَادِكَ, until they threw you off your horse. فَهَوَيْتَ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ جَرِيحًا. There you fell on the ground with wounds. تدير طرفا خفيا إلى رحلك وبيتك. But while he was on the ground, he was still looking at his camps and his family. His eyes were towards his tents, even in the last moments. ابی عبدالله از خانواده دفاع کرد تا اینکه از اسب سرنگون شد. میگه نه ذوالجناح دگر تا به استقامت داشت، نه سید الشهدا بر جدال طاقت داشت. حواز باد مخالف چو قیرگون گردید، عزیز فاطمه از اسب سرنگون گردید. بلند مرتبه شاهی ز صدر زین افتاد، اگر غلط نکنم عرش بر زمین افتاد. الا لعنت الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا على محمد وأي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. اللهم استجب دعواتنا واقض حوائجنا وارحم موتانا وعجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والناصر ولأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات. الفاتحة مع الصلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد